Welcome everyone. Race 23 of 36 in the Darkside Mustangs A-Square Cup Series season for Michigan International Speedway for the Michigan 200. Get ready for the first heat race. You see the temperature on track and in the air, 81-degree air temperature, 106 degrees on track. It's going to be a hot one. Tire wear is going to be a premium as we get ready to go here at this 2-mile oval. Jumping into heat race number 1. So an interesting lineup here in the 10 drivers in heat race number 1. Patrick Allen on pole for heat 1. Qualified 3rd in the qualifying session before this. Ended up being pipped by Cody Pannell, Toby Estes and Cody Pannell on the front row. They locked themselves in from qualifying. Patrick Allen, Jason Alexander on the front row. Tom Sears and Thomas Andrews in row 2. Row 3, Seth Wansing and Bren Roberts. Jonathan Hohenbrink and Noah Belleville on the outside looking in, trying to get into the top 6. They'll sit in row 4, and row 5 is Nick Fisher and Tommy Withers. As we get ready to go here at Michigan. Alrighty, so here we go. First heat race, we are rolling. Again, Patrick Allen, Jason Alexander on the front row this evening for heat race number 1. There'll be 3 heat races and then a main event. This is just heat 1. Top 6 move on. They will determine the inside of rows 2 through 7 for tonight's main event. Those that finish 7th to 10th will end up being in the last chance qualifier to determine the spots 15th and lower. Weird territory for Patrick Allen to be in, but he will lead this field to green. Tom Sears behind him on the inside, that yellow number 14. Should be an interesting one. Pace car will pull into pit lane here. Allen, Alexander, Sears, and Andrews, top 4. Withers will not make the start. Green flag is in the air, and away we go. We are racing at Michigan. The Allen holding on to this race lead at the moment. Wansing in second. He's gotten ahead of Alexander. Sears has dropped to 4th. Wansing moves to the bottom. Allen stays up high. Little loose there for Allen. 45 was drifting up close to that wall. Avoided hitting it. But Alexander's going to help Wansing get to the lead of this heat race. Wansing leads lap 2. Alexander wants the race lead. They're going to side draft each other here. It's going to give Alan a chance to go to the outside. Alan looking really competitive right now. Ooh, Alan tagged the wall. Andrews will force a 3 wide. Alexander now stuck in the middle 3 wide between Sears and Allen. As he falls backwards, Bryn Roberts in that 58, that Detroit Lions machine, sitting in the mix. Belleville. No, man, that's not Belleville. That is... No, it is Belleville, the 41. The Office Depot machine. White flag coming to the checkered flag for Heat 1. Wansing still leads. Don't think Sears will be able to chase him down. Andrews will drop to 5th. Wansing takes checkered flag to win Heat 1. Sears 2nd. Roberts 3rd. Alexander 4th. Andrews 5th. And Nick Fisher takes the last transfer spot in 6th. And we'll jump immediately right into heat race number 2. Here's the starting grid. Josh Gaiman, Dustin Painter on the front row. Then it's Terry Gappert and Ryan Pannell in row number 2. James Kerr, Jeremy Breo in row 3. Row 4, Brendan Fetterplace and John Smeal. Row 5, Joshua Garrison and Briley Wright will make up this field of 10 for heat race number 2. Again, the top 6 transfer to the main event from here to determine their starting positions. Positions 4 through 14 on the outside rows of rows 2 through 7 as we get ready to go. Green flag in the air. Heat race number 2 is underway. 8 laps to figure out the top 6. Transferring directly to the main event. And a huge crash. Behind Joshua Gaiman and ahead of Jeremy Breo, puts Breo now in second, Fetter Place now in third, and John Smeal trying to recover his damaged race car. Dustin Painter goes to fourth, but a lot of the field has to come down pit lane. This is the battle for second place for those that are watching right now. It's Breo behind Fetter Place. Fetter Place moved up to second. Painter on his own in third. James Kerr sitting in fifth. Sixth in the last transfer spot, John Smeal. Smeal's second race that he's running a tribute scheme. Typically runs the number 50 machine, but last week and this week he is running number 44 in tribute of his grandfather, who passed away a couple weeks ago. The paint scheme itself, a tribute to the dirt model car that his family runs, that his grandfather helped tremendously with. So with Michigan being a bit closer to home, this is the primary tribute race for his grandfather there for John Smeal. Two laps to go and stay in Heat 2. Gaiman with a 1.3 second lead to Fetter Place and Breo. Fetter Place is pretty well checked out on Breo. Everyone in the top 4, everyone in the top 5 safely in to the main event from here. It's John Smeal, the first car, 1 lap down. I believe he is also fairly safe at the moment. So Heat 2, pretty unpredictable minus the opening lap there. So Heat 1 was clean. Heat 2 was chaos. What's the last chance qualifier going to look like here as we get ready to go? Alrighty, getting ready for the last heat race, the last chance qualifier to determine positions 15 through 30. We don't have that many cars, so we won't have to worry about bumping people from the race. But this is determining from 15th on down. Here's the starting order. Patrick Allen and Derek Gabbard make up the front row. Noah Belleville and Ryan Pannell will be in row number 2. Jonathan Homebrink and Bradley Wright in row 3. And row 4, rounding out the last chance qualifier, Tommy Withers and Josh Garrison. There'll be 22 cars total in this race. Eight cars in this last chance qualifier. We're going to see where everyone starts the main event. Green flag in the air. Last chance qualifier is underway. So right now, Allen leads over Belleville, Wright, and Pannell. Side by side between Hunterbrink and Pannell. Pannell in a Duracell number 12. New look for that number 12 machine. Yeah, Terry Gabbard in the Ford behind them. Joshua Garrison in the 46 in a new scheme as well. Allen falls down to 5th. Riley Wright is taking the race lead for this last chance qualifier. Hohenbrink's up to 2nd, Gabbard 3rd. Belleville down to 6th. But all 6 in this top 6 battle sitting well and firmly in the conversation at the moment. Withers in pit lane, Pannell off the pace by 12 seconds. Five to go in the last chance qualifier. It's still an interesting battle. Wright, Gabbard, Belleville top 3, Garrison 4th, Hohenbrink 5th, Allen still sitting in 6th at the moment. Battle between Belleville and Wright at the front of the field. Gabbard following him. Four to go. Belleville's still leading ahead of Wright and Gabbard. Gabbard's falling off a little bit, running the outside lane. Garrison in 4th, Hohenbrink in 5th. And then Patrick Allen against the wall in 6th. 2 to go for Noah Belleville. We're on the final lap of the last chance qualifier. Coming out of the final corner, Belleville will win the last chance qualifier. He'll start 15th in the main event. It's time for the main event of the evening, the Michigan 200 here at Michigan International Speedway. Here's the full starting grid. Toby Estes and Cody Pannell on the front row. Seth Wansley and Joshua Galen will make up row 2. Tom Sears in row 3 makes it the top 5, all a race winner at some point in the season up to this point. First driver without a race win, Brandon Fetterplace. He starts 6th. Bren Roberts in 7th alongside Jeremy Breo. Jason Alexander and Dustin Painter in row 5. Then it'll be Thomas Andrews and James Kerr in row number 6. Row 7 is Thomas Andrews and James Kerr. That's row 6. Row 7 is Nick Fisher and John Smeal. I just went over row 6. Noah Belleville and Terry Gabbard in row 8. Row 9, Bradley Wright and Jonathan Homebrink. Then you have Patrick Allen and Joshua Garrison in row 10. Ryan Pannell and Tommy Withers in row number 11. Rounds out the field. Track temp has definitely gone up. It was 108 at the beginning of the broadcast. Now it's at 113 as everyone gets ready for the 3-wide salute for John Smeal, as we mentioned earlier during the second heat race. Tribute being done for John Smeal here as everyone gets 3 wide for the salute. 82 degrees is the air temperature, 52% humidity. 10 mile per hour winds will make this an intolerable race at the start as everyone tries to get themselves put together. Focus on what's going on track here at the moment. It looks like we're going to be doing a we're going to be doing a 3-wide salute here, I believe. It was going to be a 4-wide salute. My apologies. Alrighty. Green flag in the air. We're racing at Michigan. Estes off to an early lead. Then it's Wanzing, then Pannell, then Gaiman, and Fetter place top 5. Pannell battling alongside Joshua Gaiman. 61 on the outside. Gaiman trying to take third place away from Pannell. Fetter place sitting. Trying to get a little bit closer to make a move to be a part of that battle. But so far, so good. A little bit further back, it's Roberts, Sears, and Belleville. Sears on the inside in that number 14 machine. As we come around to complete lap number 2 here. At Michigan. Up front, Estes leads Wanzing, but it's a very close 4-way fight at the beginning of the race. 5-way fight. There's Breo. Tom Sears has lost 6 positions since the start of this race. Estes trying to defend that race lead from the moment. Wanzing wants it, so does Gaiman. But Estes will lead this lap. We're on to lap 5. You see the battle going on right now. Still top 5, really top 7, all in this conversation. Looking all the way down to Jason Alexander, who's in this battle. Roberts and Belleville are not far behind either. It's all the way to Nick Fisher, the best he's ever run so far. Sitting in 10th, battling for 10th with Terry Gabbard. Sears behind them. He's falling backwards more and more. He's down 7 spots. Andrews is down 2. Garrison's up 5 from where he started. Dustin Panner's down 5. Wild top 7, top 9 really in this battle. A lot of people in the high lane. Better Place making the low lane work. 80 car is batting for 3rd. Believe that's Belleville going with him to the bottom. And Belleville sent it to the bottom as Gaiman goes for the race lead. Better Place batting for 3rd with Breo. And Better Place is able to sail it through turns 3 and 4 on the bottom. Better Place up to 3rd. Firmly up to 3rd. Wanting wants to follow along. Better Place has momentum. He can make it 3 wide if he wanted to. Not sure if he will. He's going to push Estes through, it looks like. But Better Place knows how to make the inside lane work phenomenally. Battling now with Gaiman for the 2nd spot out of turn number 2. We've done 10 laps. We're on 11. Again, we're looking at Better Place, that Bang Energy number 80. Racing alongside Joshua Gaiman, the 61 up in the high lane. Better Place wants the race lead. He'll slot in behind Toby Estes, who leads this race. And Better Place will sail it down in turns 1 and 2. Once again, Cody Pannell even lower than that on the yellow line. Better Place takes the lead. Belleville keeping on the 41. Was contending for the race win last week at the Indianapolis Road Course. He's contending for early on here in the number 41 machine. He's up 10 spots from where he started earlier. Cody Pannell trying to battle him for that 5th spot. Belleville holds on to it at the moment. Pannell staying on the bottom as Better Place leads. He used the bottom to success to get to the lead. Gaiman is not finding that same success. But now everyone's trying to follow the 80 car around. Better Place than Estes than Breo. Gaiman continuing to fall backwards little by little. He has not been able to make that inside line work the way Better Place has. So Belleville trying to take 4th place away. See if Gaiman can do anything about it on the inside lane. Better Place holding onto that inside lane. Gives Estes the outside lane back, and Estes now takes the lead again as they head into turns 3 and 4. Gaiman back up to the very top lane. Pannell still bottom lane. Better Place still on the bottom. Stage 1 ends on lap 30. Almost a lot of trouble between Cody Pannell and Noah Belleville as this led that lap. Better Place leads entering turn 1, but they're pretty level. Estes leads. Breo wants 2nd place now. They fan out for 3 and 4. Gaiman again running the very high lane. Highest possible lane you can run. Better Place takes second back and clears Breo for it. You're now approaching lap 17. We're on lap 17 of 100. Laps are clicking away. Looking a little bit further down, this is the battle for 10th place between Dustin Painter and Bradley Wright. Terry Gabbard in 12th, Withers in 13th, James Kerr in 14th. Biggest loser at the moment, Tom Sears. Sears is down in 17th position. He's lost 12 spots from where he started. He is struggling here in stage 1. All 22 cars still rolling and on the lead lap. As we keep an eye on this lead pack battle, Estes, Pannell, Fetter Place top 3. Side by side, a little contact between Pannell and Estes. That gives Fetter Place second place back. And now Breo's going to take third away. Fetter Place sails it to the bottom once again. Fetter Place prefers that bottom lane. And Fetter Place goes to the lead. Estes leads across the line, but that's a close run to the line. 11 to go in stage 1. So as this continues to hold on to the race lead, Fetter Place holds on to second place, then it's Breo. And it's been a rotating cycle between who's second, third, fourth, and fifth. But Pannell's going to fall backwards here. Oh, trouble! That was Breo in the wall. Still trying to save it. Yellow comes out. We figured you get a little bit crazy. Here's what happened. So here's what happened. It's all with Toby Estes up near the wall here. Started to get a little bit racy. Estes goes a little too high, tags the wall, pushes Breo into fetter place, and it shoots Breo all the way to the inside wall. Wansing took the lead. What a chain of events to call the first caution of the race before the end of stage 1. So we will have a small little shootout to end stage 1. There's some cars coming in under this first caution of the race. We'll take another look at it. Because from my perspective, Estes kind of got into the wall on his own, and Breo just kind of compounded it. Because they're side by side, side by side. Slow it down here. Yeah. It's very close. I don't know if Estes would have made it without the contact. I definitely think it's a racing incident. I don't think anyone's at fault more than anybody else here. I think both of them are racing hard, and both of them are going really tight towards the outside wall because they're side drafting each other through that corner. And you just run out of room. The way it unloads here, it just runs completely out of room. We'll slow it down as we watch everyone sort of get ready to go here for the restart in stage 1. Yeah, the contact's there. I just don't know if S is going to clear the wall without the contact. Again, it's really hard to tell. I don't think anyone meant to do anything there. I think everyone's just racing really hard for the end of the stage with how much this group yeah, this is a lot of hard racing, and unfortunately, and everyone almost saved it. That was the really fun part about it. Like, everyone almost completely saved it. It just, with so many cars collected in that, it just saved the call of caution. It was the right call to make. But it's thrown a wrench into the end of stage 1. Bren Roberts leads. Then it's Belleville, Alexander, and Fetter Place behind him. Estes in row 3 alongside Terry Gabbard. Joshua Gaiman, Ryan Pannell, row 4, and row 5, Tommy Withers and Seth Wansing. Wansing, the first driver to make pit lane. Everyone behind John Smeal also took the pit lane. Tires are at a premium in this race. That was sort of the no that we had going in. The tires were going to mean a lot. So we're going to see how much they mean in these last 4 laps of stage 1. Pace car is off. Green flag in the air. And away we go. And Alexander did not have a good start at all. Immediately thrown down the middle. And Fetter Place also getting swallowed up. Ryan Pannell sitting top 10. He's sitting 6th at the moment, looking to the bottom. To the inside of Gabbard. Gaiman up high, up near the wall in that 61. Pannell up to 4th. But now the charge is on. 3 to go in stage 1. Pannell gets around Gabbard and clears him. As Gabbard tries to side draft Gaiman. Pannell wants some stage points. That was Wanting that tagged the wall. And that's trouble at the end of the stage. That's Gabbard and Wanting, and this will be how the stage ends. Wanting, who had just come down pit lane, put himself in traffic when he had the race lead. And now he's got damage repairs to make for that number 9. Noah Belleville will win stage 1. He won stage 1 last week at Indianapolis. He does it again here at Michigan. Robertson 2nd. Toby Estes 3rd. The top 10. On the left side of your screen. As Gaiman's in pit lane. What happened to Gaiman? Pit lane should be closed. Here's a look at what happened between Gabbard and Wanting. Gabbard kind of got thrown down to the bottom. He didn't want to be there. And our older tires kind of pushes and pushes and pushes. Sends the 4 around. Alright, so we're going to take the time. While we're at it, we're going to talk to Seth Wanting here in just a second. Wanting making his way back around. Hey, Seth, this is Clayton from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha, buddy.
Alrighty, so that's not how we wanted stage 1 to end. Strategy call, obviously, I think was hit before stage 1 ended and then take the lead back when stage 1 ended. But sort of like walk us through that with Gabbard there to end stage 1. What happened?
I don't know what you saw from your end, but on my end, he just couldn't pick a line. He checked up in the middle of the corner, had a bunch of people checked up. Then I came up on him. I was going to go middle. He went middle. I went top. He started to go top, and then we just hooked bumpers. So in the end, it's probably my fault, but I mean, I don't I don't know what it looked like from the viewers end, but in my opinion, he changed lines a couple times. It was subtle, but it's enough to make me think about it. So I had a pretty good strategy going. I still think I can try and stay on it, but it's gonna suck trying to come from the back and baby these tires to kind of make my strategy do what it needs to do. So was having a lot of fun before then. Got a fast number 9 Universe Chevrolet. Um, but yeah. Again, I would love to see what you saw from maybe an aerial view, but that might be for later.
Yeah, so it definitely looked like he kind of was indecisive on where he wanted to be. I don't know if he thought you were already alongside him or not, and then was just really late in making that decision. Yeah, at the end of the stage, everyone was going to be going crazy anyway. I think he was just unsure as to who was outside and how close they were, and I don't think it helped anybody's situation that he was just in a three-wide situation. I don't think he knew who was anywhere. But we've seen that a couple times from before, so not sure if it's just a spotter issue for him or what's going on there. But obviously, we know you're a top 10 capable car. You've been top 10 most of the race, so we know you've got it. But we'll check with him if we have another caution. We'll check in with you, see how you're coming. You're restarting this race in 18th, so and good luck. We'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna start from the back. Feel free to pull me in during the middle of a run too. I don't mind. Love to give the fans at home. Thanks for all of you tuning in, but gonna choose here and try to stick with this strategy. I think I got a top 3 to 5 car here. Clayton, just gotta try to stay out of trouble now. How to use a fast repair, but whatever. We'll see what we can do from here, bud.
Well, it's going to be exciting. The racing so far has been really good, so we'll see you get back at it.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Now, Seth Wansing, in-race reporter for our race here at Michigan. We'll check with him later on in this race, see how he's going, see how he restarts this race. He went to the inside, chose the inside lane for this restart. See where that puts him on this restart. Up front, Joshua Garrison and Bren Roberts. Belleville in 3rd. Then it's Fetter Place in 4th place. Jeremy Breo and Cody Pannell in row 3. Then it's going to be Thomas Andrews and Jason Alexander in row number 4. Row 5, Toby Estes and Patrick Allen. But Dustin Painter, John Smeal, Nick Fisher, James Kerr, Riley Wright, Seth Wandering. He'll end up being in, if I look at it, he'll be alongside Ryan Pannell, his team Sideswipe teammate, I believe. To double check. Actually, he might be 15th. No, he'll be alongside Riley Wright. So he'll be in row 8. Stage 1 has come to an end. Stage 2 begins when the green flag drops to begin lap 34. Green flag back in the air. It's Garrison and Roberts on the front row. Better Place with a really good run. Stage 2 goes all the way until lap 60. Estes trying to shoot the middle. Breo down below the white line. He'll lose a lot of spots. Not sure what happened to the 74 of Pannell, not Breo, but Pannell for Breo. But he'll drop behind Wansing. Wansing in 15th. Breo now 16th. Ryan Pannell in 17th. As Fetter Place leads ahead of Estes, Alexander, and Roberts. Better place still side by side with Estes here. Better place chose the outside lane that time, but Estes trying to take the lead away. Better place would love a race win. For those that are new to our broadcasting here, those that have won a race are highlighted in the silver. Those that have not yet won a race are highlighted in the red. Better place would love a race win. He's working on it. He's working against one of the best drivers in the series, Toby Estes. One of the favorites usually week in and week out. Estes leads, then it's better place, then James Kurt up to third. At 75, kind of lurking around right now. The Kerr sits third, Riley Wright fourth, Joshua Gaiman in fifth, and it's Jason Alexander in sixth. Alexander now battling with Patrick Allen. Allen sitting up in seventh, one of his best races of the season in that number 45 machine right now. Nick Fisher in eighth, also doing a career best in A squared so far. So Nick Fisher sits eighth. Cody Pannell now in ninth place with everything shaken up. Painter in 10th. Thomas Andrews sitting in the 11th place. Seth Wansing up to 12th. He restarted this race in 15th. Tom Sears trying to make his way back up. He is sitting in the 13th spot after falling all the way down to 17th in stage one. So Spears sits 13th. Ben Roberts all the way down to 15th now, behind Jonathan Hohenbrink. Noah Belleville, our winner of stage one, all the way down to 18th position behind John Smeal. But there's a 19th. Breo down in 20th. Garrison in 21st. Gabber 22nd, the only car off the lead lap at the moment, but it's Toby Estes leading Brandon Fairplace here in stage two. James Kerr trying to close in on Fetter Place here. Group of 5 from 3rd to 8th place, really 3rd to 7th. Right now, top 7 all within 1.6 seconds. But a lot of the drivers that were in this group in stage 1 now outside the top 10. Still side-by-side racing. Better Place takes the lead. Better Place took the lead momentarily. Now it's Estes back out front. That was a quick change of events. Still side by side for the race lead. It's Better Place and Estes there. Kerr still sitting in 3rd place at the moment. We'll look at pit strategy here for everyone in the top 8 here. Estes, Fair Place, Alexander, and Gaiman all make one stop. Kerr came in top off with fuel on that last caution at the end of stage 1. You can see who all's done the most work. Patrick Allen up 15 spots. Briley Wright up 11 spots from where he started. Better Place currently holding on to the race lead. Look at lap times between the top two. Last couple laps. Better Place has been faster. Good to see Estes go faster this lap. No, Better Place still going a little bit faster. Again, stage 2 ends on lap 60. Estes faster that time, lap 53. But Breo now going to go a lap down. Didn't think we'd say that today. Breo going a lap down. He is now the first car off the lead lap. Side by side, Better Place and Estes. And Better Place holds on to the race lead. Better Place beginning to kind of boogie along and boogie out of the way. Sitting he gained 5/10 on Estes that last lap. Estes is now beginning to struggle big time. You can see, comparing Estes to Gaiman, how much quicker Gaiman has been the last 3 laps up until the last lap, now that Gaiman's on him. And keeping on the 45, Patrick Allen. Patrick Allen sitting right now in 4th place. Earning some serious stage points in the number 45 machine if things keep going as they are these next 3 laps. Doing a phenomenal job in the number 45 machine. Gaiman coming down pit lane. Gaiman will give up the stage points. He wants the track position coming out of stage 2 into stage 3. But this is kind of on the important suggestion that he doesn't go a lap down here. And I'm not sure you're able to stay on the lead lap on a pit stop under green. I don't think that's how that's going to happen. We'll double check and we'll see. We'll actually pull up the track map here. Again, Gaiman's in pit lane. Better Place coming out of turn 4. He's at the restart zone and across the start finish line. Yeah, Gaiman's going a lap down here. Easily. There's Gaiman now. Garrison's coming towards turn 1. And Breo's not far behind. He'll be the first car on the lead lap. First car 1 lap down. But that backfired big time. That was not ideal. Because he will not get even. He'll actually be the tail end of the lead line for this restart. As Better Place win stage 2. And very smart by Toby Estes. Very, very smart by Toby Estes. Estes was in pit lane as the caution came out. Very clever. Alrighty. The Wanzing back to the top 10. Restarted in 15th at the end of stage 1. He'll come down pit lane here. A lot of cars will, just about the entire field will. Is Fisher out of fuel? He very well might be out of fuel in that 89 machine. Bradley Wright won the battle off pit lane. Cody Pannell will be 4th behind Kerr in Better Place. Hunterbrink 5th, Andrew 6th. So they got Seth Wands, and we're going to see if we can get a hold of him again here. He is going to be in, he's currently 12th, but we'll see where he lines up here for this restart. Hey Seth, this is Glenn from the Arcs Racing booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha, bud.
Alrighty, so stage 2 out of the way. You've made up some spots. Now it's time. The last 35 laps or so are going to be pretty important. What's the game plan still? Still looking good at your strategy, or is it time to start slicing and dicing to the field?
Strategy's looking good. Gonna try to slice and dice here while keeping the car underneath me. Hopefully hang on to the race car here. That's the most important part. Strategy worked out really well. Had to go really slow to keep the tires on it, but saved enough. Go like hell that last pit stop and see if we can get to the back to the front.
So it's been a multi-lane track tonight. Some drivers have been preferring the outside lane, some on the inside. What lane do you think you're preferring right now? You're starting, it looks like row 6 here, so you got a little bit of traffic in front of you. What lane do you feel like you're going to be more comfortable in at the start here?
Anywhere where there's clean air. We're coming to 1 to go here. Anywhere where there's clean air, but I'm going to go.
All right.
Try to keep the tires on it the best I can and go from there.
All right, dude. Good luck.
Appreciate you, buddy.
That was Seth Wansing, our in-race reporter, giving us a quick look. He's saying clean air at premium, but he's ready to slice and dice, ready to get through this field. Keep an eye on that number 9 machine. Coming green with 36 laps to go is when we go green. James Kerr on the green flag. He will lead this field to green. Andrews alongside him. Fed a place in Pannell, row 2. Green flag back in the air. We're racing at Michigan. Once again, stage 3 underway. And Kerr off to a really good start. That is, I'm trying to see who that is off the pace. I believe that's Fisher. It is Fisher off pace. He ran out of fuel and had to tow it back. So he lost a lot of time. Andrews with a really good lead so far to start off stage 3. Cody Pannell in 2nd place ahead of Brandon Fetterplace. Ryan Pannell in 4th place ahead of Noah Belleville. Then it's John Smeal and Jonathan Homebrink battling with Tommy Withers. 3 wide. Tom Sears in this battle as well. And that's almost contact between Sears and Withers. And right in front of Wansing too. Wansing up to the top 10. And now trying to chase down Andrews. Andrews trying to get his first win of the season. So Pannell still chasing down Andrews. Andrews leading the race. Ryan Pannell in 3rd. Noah Belleville sitting in 4th. Top 3 in your screen. Ryan Pannell trying to close in on this top 2. Neither Andrews or Ryan Pannell have won a race. Cody Pannell's won it once. Cody Pannell taking the race lead on the outside lane. Andrews trying to use the inside to hold on to the race lead. 30 laps to go. And you see the race behind these top two. Pannell's leading the Armada. Still side by side. Further on down the field. Cody Pannell now out up front. It's Andrews second, Ryan Pannell sitting in third. This battle is pretty crazy, and it's starting to get a little bit crazier. Pannell, Andrews, Fetterplace, top three. Fetterplace definitely wants a race win. He's been up front most of the race. There's Wansing sitting in fourth. Belleville still sitting top five. He won stage one. Keep an eye on Wansing. He's starting to close in. He's starting to close in on Andrews here. Trying to take third place away from Andrews. That's a lap traffic. That's Fisher. Fisher going a lap down. Another one. Put Fisher 2 laps down. Rayo 1 lap down. Gabbard is also 1 lap down. Same with Allen and Garrison. Wansing now up to third, battling with trying to chase down and get around Fetter Place. 2 cars entering pit lane. It's Gabbard and Allen. They're actually coming out of pit lane now. 25 to go. It's Cody Pannell, then Brandon Fetterplace, then Steph Wansing, Thomas Andrews, Noah Belleville, top 5. Ryan Pannell's dropped down to 6th. Tom Sears sitting 7th. 8th place, Joshua Gaiman. 9th place, Brendan Roberts. 10th place, Jonathan Homebrink. Pannell trying to defend the bottom. Fetterplace stays high. Wansing will use Fetterplace on the high line to try to close in the gap. 24 to go. A little bit of a blink for Wansing there. Better Place stays in second place, though. Wanzing has moved up to second place, but he is showing a little bit of latency. Hopefully that doesn't force him to have to step aside, as now Wanzing can chase down Cody Pannell for the lead of this race. Wanzing's only won one race, same with Cody Pannell. They're looking for their second. Wanzing won at Nashville last, after being beaten to the line by the Team Outlaw trio of Sears, Ray, and Dustin Painter at Talladega. Now we're looking at Better Place as he tries to defend third place. Wanzing trying to chase down Cody Pannell. Cars coming down pit lane. A lot of cars coming down pit lane. So Andrews back to the lead, with Homebrink in second, Sears in third, Ryan Pannell in fourth, and John Smeal in fifth. That's the top five currently. Again, Andrews staying out. But now there's the belief that nobody can make it on fuel to the end of the race, which would make sense. That's Painter going by Andrews here. Stream keeps lagging. Just a second here. Trying to figure out what's causing lagging issues. Give us just a second. Andrew's coming down pit lane. Not sure why we're seeing lag issues. Seems to have stabilized here. Not sure what the issue is, but we are noting that there is an issue with frame rate. Brian Pannell comes down pit lane. Hopefully everything stabilizes for right now. Now in pit lane. Could make Belleville the race leader when John Smeal comes down pit lane. So now Roberts in the lead. Smeal in pit lane. There's John Smeal down pit lane. So Brendan Roberts will inherit the race lead here. There's Cody Pannell in the mix. No, Belleville's in the mix. Coming to the last 10 laps of this race. Cody Pannell now leading Brendan Roberts. Toby Estes a lap down, not in the equation as a position. As we ready for the last few laps of this race. Coming to 10 laps to go. Cody Pannell trying to walk away from Noah Belleville. Belleville tried to send Estes through turns 3 and 4. Estes holding up Belleville and Roberts here. This could be Cody Pannell's race to lose. Belleville and Roberts has just spent too much time behind Estes. Belleville's gotten clear of Cody Pannell, but it's now 1.2 seconds the gap. Seth Wansing sitting a distant 4th. We have Tom Sears in 5th. He's finally back where he started. Withers in 6th. 7th, Dustin Painter. 8th, Thomas Andrews. 9th, Ryan Pannell. 10th, Brandon Fetterplace. Five to go. Gap is only getting worse and worse. Noah Belleville 1.5 behind Cody Pannell. So Belleville once again having to settle for a second place finish here in A squared. As it seems like the gap's only going to get larger and larger. 1.6 the gap between Pannell and Belleville. There you go, Cody Pannell. Gap is sort of stabilized at 1.6, but 1.6 definitely more than enough to get through these last 3 laps, coming to 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Cody Pannell and Team Sideswipe. Less than 2 miles for his 2nd race win of the season. Out of turn 4. Cody Pannell, a 2-time race winner. He wins in Michigan ahead of Noah Belleville and Bren Roberts. Seth Wansing will finish 4th. Tom Sears will finish 5th. Dustin Painter 6th. Ahead of Tommy Withers and Thomas Andrews. Ryan Pannell 9th. Brandon Fetterplace 10th. Be how the top 10 ends up after this race. But Cody Pannell, now a 2-time race winner, some extra bonus points before the playoffs begin at the end of this month. A little bit of congratulations by Seth Wansing, his teammate there for Team Sideswipe. Jerry Breo, another teammate for Team Sideswipe. And now he's going to burn it down. So I wait for ready for interviews here. We're going to go over the race results. After race 23 of 36, 3 races left in the regular season, Cody Pannell takes the race win here in Michigan. Noah Belleville and Bren Roberts will round out the podium with him here in Brooklyn. Seth Wansing and Tom Sears will round out the top 5. 6th and 7th, Dustin Painter and Tommy Withers. Thomas Andrews, Ryan Pannell, and Brandon Fetterplace in the top 10. They'll round out the top 10 here at Michigan. Joshua Gaiman in 11th, Jonathan Homebrink in 12th, John Smeal 13th, James Kerr 14th, 15th for Bradley Wright, and 16th, Jason Alexander, the last of those on the lead lap. 16 on the lead lap at the end of this race. A very clean race this afternoon, this evening here in Michigan. Looking at the rest of the field, you have the Bluegrass Bandits, Toby Estes in 17th, Jeremy Breo in 18th, Terry Gabbard in 19th, all of them 1 lap down. Nick Fisher in 20th, 3 laps down after running out of fuel. Patrick Allen, despite having a lot of pace tonight, unable to really do much with it, ended up 21st. And Joshua Garrison out of this race early, 7 laps early, in 22nd position. But now it's almost time. So we got Cody Pannell. We're going to interview the race winner first. Cody Pannell is the first one to join us. Cody, this is Clayton from the RX Racing booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you loud and clear. Well, that was a pretty clean race. Obviously, your car was quick all race long. Qualified outside the front row, but back and forth strategy was a pretty important thing. Uh, that last stage, green flag pit stops. How smooth were you able to care to keep it on pit lane, and how important was it to make that stop when you did?
Yeah, that was a pretty big part of the race. I came in late and only turned about 2 laps during practice. And so during the warm up, I practiced coming to pit lane under green. And I'm really glad I did that because I think it paid off. Seth and I came in there together, and I came out a pretty good ways ahead of him. And I think that was, due to getting on pit road and getting off a little bit better. So, I mean, there were pretty much two clear cut strategies, but it was all over the place. You're with the cautions coming out, people were changing it on the fly. So the one that we played, I felt like gave us the best chance to win there at the end. That's why we stuck with it. It gave us 2 sets of fresh tires on the last 2 pit stops, as opposed to the other guys that were running it long on that first set and then getting there fresh at the end. So pretty happy with how the race played out. Shout out to Sideswipe and all of our guys. They all ran a pretty good race. And shout out to John Smeal and his family,
Yeah,
keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. And
yeah.
appreciate you, Clayton, for broadcasting these races, man. You're part of the wheel that goes round, and we appreciate you.
With how this race went with Richmond next week, we've had a couple really, really good races these last couple races with Richmond next week. And not sure if you've practiced, not sure if you're a racer next week. But if you are racing next week, short track racing, feeling good, feeling comfortable at Richmond with how the tire saving went today. Richmond's going to be a pretty tire save oriented track if everything goes green. Feel like you can probably do well there, or short track's going to be a bit of a problem.
No, I love Richmond. Short track racing is some of my favorite racing on here. So I really don't like the intermediates, so kind of surprised how I ran today. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to Richmond and seeing if we can't repeat some of the success there, because I've had a pretty rough string of races here. It looks like I don't even know what I'm doing out here, so it feels good to get back to winning again.
Yeah, you definitely looked like you knew what you were doing the night. It was able to kind of walk away, charged to the field, and walked away from Belleville and Roberts there. But before I let you go, I know you shout out Team Sideswipe. But there's anyone else you want to shout out? The floor is yours. Congrats again. Second race win of the season. Some bonus points going into the playoffs at the end of this month. A lot of good momentum right at the right time.
Yes, sir, and hopefully we can carry that on through to the playoffs. I got to shout out Ryan every chance I get to, for everything he does for ARCs and
Yeah.
specifically A Squared. He carries a lot of this on his own, so we're just there to kind of help him when he needs it. So huge shout out to him. Again, shout out to you for broadcasting these. It's always a pleasure to go back and watch again. That's something that's always nice to do. And just everybody that was in the race tonight, I feel like everybody kept their heads on and drove clean. So that was a pretty good showing of what we're capable of here at ARCS. And yeah, looking forward to Richmond. Thank you,
Yeah,
Clayton.
not a problem, Cody. Again, congrats on your race win, second of the season. We'll see you at Richmond next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Cody Pannell, our race winner. We'll move on to second place finisher Noah Belleville here in Michigan. Again, second time he's finished second here this month. Noah, this is Clayton from the ARCS Racing booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Second feels rough, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
A lot of pace. Obviously a lot of back and forth. You were up in the top 10 just about all race long. But tire saving, I think, was the theme of the day, and I think everyone kind of knew that. How were you able to handle it? Obviously, you have a little bit of the handicap there, being on the on a gamepad as opposed to a racing wheel. How were you able to kind of adjust and deal with that? Because it seemed like you were pretty well on top of it when others weren't. Just sort of walk through how that was for you, especially that last stint.
Yeah, so it was definitely interesting. Prophecy Racing did a pretty good job of pulling that strategy out. We noticed that we had 2 sets instead of 3, and the fall off was insane. So there at the end of stage 1, we stayed out and took our 1 set of tires with both stage 1 and 2. And stage 2 was pretty sketchy. We So at the end of stage 1, we had about 50% of life left on our tires. So we were like, oh man, we're gonna have to really baby these things. And so me and Tommy Withers, we pulled it off. DP and or Terry Gabbard and Joshua Game, and they were also in the or not Joshua Game, and Joshua Garrison
Yeah.
were also in that strategy with us, and those two blue tires. So me and Tommy were like, oh man, we better back off even more. And then the leaders were coming up behind, so we were trying to manage not blowing a tire and also manage not going lap down. So that was definitely interesting. But we pulled it off. And when we went down for stage 2, we actually, like, when we put new sets of tires on and we saw how much life we had left on the old set, like, me and Tommy, we had about 30% left on our tires, so we really babied those things. We had way more on the tires than we thought we did. So then the strategy after that was to split the stage, come down for run 20 laps on those sets, and then come down lap 80 and take another set and go from there. Once the pits cycled out, got the lead, but Toby ended up right in front of me and kind of took the air off my nose and let Cody and Bren by, and then Cody just went right on by Toby, and then
Yeah.
Toby raced me and Bren really, really hard and just let Cody drive away. And then once I cleared Toby, I gained about half a second on Cody, but it was not enough. So yeah, it was kind of frustrating there that Toby was racing us that hard a lap down. I was getting pretty annoyed. So I kind of like was like, all right, I got to get by this guy. So I just pulled up right in front of Brent and took the hardest shot ever to my rear. Got a little wiggly, but I kept it straight and took that run and blew past Toby. But yeah, it's frustrating. That's now the
Yeah.
second place that I've gotten without the win, and I won't be able to race Richmond next week because I won't be home. And after
That's
that,
a bummer.
it's Watkins Glen, and I'm fast on the road courses. But if Gaiman shows up, then it's not even a competition. uh, and then after that's Daytona, and you know how Daytona is, so
Oh,
who
yeah.
knows? But so that was kind of what I had circled on the calendar. I needed to get that one, and just I was a second short. Kind of sucks.
Definitely a show of promise, though. Obviously, you're really fast at Indy Road Course. Obviously, you're really fast here. I expect you to be pretty fast at Watkins Glen, too. It should be a track that just about everyone knows, so it should be another really good
Oh
race
yeah.
for you. And Daytona, like, Prophecy Racing, if you can put your team together, could
Yeah.
try to set something up there at Daytona. Like, still got a couple really good opportunities to try to get yourself a win and get locked into the playoffs here. But
Yep. It's just running out of time.
yeah, time
Yeah.
is of the essence. That is for sure. Um, but it was really fun watching you all race, especially stage 1 when it was like 9 or 10 cars in that group. Just really good, clean racing. That was we love to see it.
Yeah. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we let you go here, we know you have people that watch us just about every week. If you have anyone you want to shout out, anyone you want to say thank you to, the floor is yours, man. Second place, I know it's not as good as a win, but getting them,
Yeah.
like, if you get enough of these, you're gonna be getting a new trophy case anyway. So, but the floor is yours if you have anyone to shout out. Hey, congrats on the podium, congrats on the good racing, and we'll see you at Watkins Glen.
Yep. Well, thanks, Clayton, for always putting up the stream. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Also excited to go back and watch the IndyCar race that
Yeah,
I hear went up today. So I got 2 races to watch.
yeah, that
And
goes up. I think that goes up later tonight. But yeah,
yeah, and shout out to Prophecy Racing for coming up with a good strategy. Shout out to my grandparents and my parents for always watching. And shout out to the Arcs boys for always putting on good races, nice clean races. That was a lot of fun. Sucks won't be able to do some short track beating and banging next week, but
yeah.
excited to take some lesson rights in 2 weeks.
Alrighty. Well, Noah, again, congrats on the podium. Definitely a well-earned one. You're on a roll. Really, the last 3 races we've seen you in, you've been really good at. So we're excited to see what you can do at Richmond, not Richmond, but Watkins Glen in 2 weeks.
Yep. Thanks, Clayton.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, that was Noah Belleville, our second place finisher here at Michigan. Final on our interview docket is Brendan Roberts, third place finisher here. we're going to bring him in. Brenton, this is Clayton from the ARX Racing booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Clayton.
Alrighty, well, that was interesting. Third place. Seemed like you're finally getting a little bit of luck here when you need it. But sort of just kind of walk us through it. Strategy-wise, seemed to be like the name of the game. Obviously, tire saving really important tonight. That last stanza seemed like lap traffic was just a really big issue there. But sort of just walk us through that race, putting yourself in that position to get that P3, because it was pretty clear in a way you, Noah, and Cody in the top 3 when it was all said and done.
Yeah, so stage 1, I was kind of like a back half of the top 10 car. You know, I wasn't great, but I could hold on with the draft. So I took the same strategy that Noah did in stage 2, just didn't take any tires. A couple others took it. He just rode around for 30 laps. And then final stage, just pushed as hard as he could. Pit about halfway through like everybody else did. And it worked out. Looked like we were gonna have a shot for the win, but lap traffic got in the way, so that was a little unfortunate.
So we noticed, especially earlier in the race, where like it was very easy to pass, very easy to sort of like just choose lanes. But it seemed like that changed in the last stage, stage 3. What made it so difficult to pass in that stage that it wasn't so difficult in stage 1 and 2?
Well, the back half of stage 3, what made it hard to pass was the 19, but besides that, it just seemed like everybody was pushing a little harder, and so it was just harder to pass. You couldn't really get underneath somebody unless you absolutely sent it in, and I wasn't comfortable doing that. So
You think that everyone just kind of pushing, sort of just made it a little bit difficult. So I guess that in retrospect, so was stage 1 and 2, was it just everyone just giving a little bit more in stage 1 and 2? Or was it just everyone just trying to figure out what line worked?
I think everybody gave a little more than they did in stage 3, and you know, a lot of people just don't give a lot when it comes down when you get to the pay window.
Yeah.
So
Well, we've seen you the last few weeks. Obviously, everyone that recognizes you from Indy Arcs will know, obviously, a podium finisher at Long Beach. Obviously, you're a pretty consistent, early, clean, and good racer here. We've seen you the last few races. Obviously, Atlanta didn't go well. Then we've seen you in Indianapolis now tonight. Richmond next week, then Watkins, Glen, and Daytona to set up the playoffs here. Those 3 races, which one sticks out to you the most, man?
I'll say Daytona because I'll call it right now. Me and Jacob, the 85, we're gonna finish 1-2 there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that.
Bold
I'll call our
call.
shot right now.
Bold call. So Daytona, got to look out for the 58 and 85. I know you guys are teammates. But with Richmond next week, any idea what you're kind of expecting there? If you're going to be racing next week, sort of like idea what the short track's going to be like? We raced there earlier in the year, but completely different car than what we have now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be terrible, but I thought I was gonna be terrible today. I thought I was gonna be terrible last week and the week before. So I guess you never know, right? So
Right.
I'm just hoping to run pretty good.
All right, Bren. Well, congrats on the podium. Another P3 here. Adding to your collection and arcs of podium finishes on top of Long Beach earlier in April. Before we let you go, obviously, if there's anyone you want to shout out, your teammate wasn't here, was probably at the actual race at Michigan earlier, so a pretty well-earned miss for the points leader. But if still you want to shout out, the floor is yours, man. Always fun watching you race, watching you put elbows out. Can't wait to see what you do next week.
I just want to shout out Blake Rios Racing. Jared spotted for me today, even though he wasn't there for the first half and almost caused me to get in a couple wrecks. And Jacob and Blake. So yeah.
Well, Bren, congrats on the podium. Congrats on the P3. Can't wait to see what you do at Richmond and what you do at Watkins Glen. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on you guys at Daytona, see if you guys can get that one too.
Yep, we plan on it, or at least I'm gonna try to make it happen.
Right. Well, Bren, congrats. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week. Can't wait to see what all happens. Good luck, man.
All right, thank you. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you. That was Bren Roberts, our third place finisher here tonight, here at Michigan International Speedway. Again, here is the top 18 of tonight's race. Cody Pannell, Noah Belleville, Bryn Roberts, Seth Wanzing, Tom Sears, Dustin Painter, Tommy Withers, Thomas Andrews, Ryan Pannell, Brandon Fetterplace round out the top 10. Then it's Joshua Gaiman, Jonathan Homebrink, John Smeal, James Kerr, Bradley Wright, Jason Alexander, Toby Estes, and Jeremy Breo rounding out the top 18. Top 16 all on the lead lap. A very green flag, clean racing affair here at Michigan. Next week, it's Richmond International Raceway. With 3 races left, time is running out if you're trying to lock yourself into the A-Squared playoffs. But until then, on behalf of Darkside Mustangs, Windy Chevrolet, and Midwest Barbecue, I'm Glenn Hardy. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you at Richmond.